switch gears and talk about Jaylen Brown. It's time now for Bringing the Heat, brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil there in your neighborhood. Jaylen Brown was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week for last week, picking up the award for his fourth time in his career. JB averaged 28 points per game on 62% shooting, including 47% from deep in the Celtics' 3 wins over Philly, Dallas, and the Golden State Warriors. Let's take a look at his highlights.
Cuts it back and powers it down. Wow. A mammoth hammer there from Brown. Brown, you bet. Jaylen Brown is scorching hot in this first. Brown flies to the basket and lays it in. Brown.
Jaylen Brown was on fire last week. Time now for Forsberg's Forum. Forsberg, is it all about Jaylen Brown or maybe sprinkles of Jaylen Brown?
It is all about Jaylen Brown. Unlike the Golden State Warriors, we're going to pay respect to JB and not sag off of him. We are all in. We are getting up on him because we are so enthralled by what he's been doing this past week. And really, since the All-Star break, he's been on fire coming out of the All-Star break. And just want to spotlight not only some of the numbers since that time, but really for the entire season when he has played what I think to an all-NBA level. And we start with 26.2. Now, Amina, you might know, in Boston, we consider this like the marathon number, right? The number of miles you do. This is Jaylen Brown's scoring average since the All-Star break. He's up about 4 points per game, but he's only taking 1 extra shot per game. He has been super efficient in this stretch, shooting 56% from the floor, 44.7% on threes. Ain't that right, Draymond? And what I really like is that he has been aggressive, he has set the tone, had a little bit of, I would say, would we call it a funk, would we call it a slump, whatever you want to call it, he dipped a little bit, probably right before the All-Star break. And I don't know if that's just, all the effort he's been putting in this season, but we wondered what would happen coming out of the All-Star break, energized by that appearance out in Indianapolis, and I feel like Jaylen has just taken it up another level and shown why he is so impactful. I think he's playing some of his best basketball of the season right now, including on every facet of the game.
You think that he's playing some of his best basketball? I know that he's playing some of his best basketball of his career because I have never seen him play like how he's playing this season. All right, what's coming up next?
All right, the second number, 43.1. And that is what opponents are shooting against Jaylen Brown this season. It's come down, or I should say it's gone up a little bit. But essentially, he ranks 9th among all high-volume shooters, or anyone who is defending 10-plus field goal attempts per game with 40-plus games played. On the Celtics, he's second behind only his cookies and cream brethren in Kristaps Porzingis. What I like best is, since the All-Star game, we've seen Jaylen take on the challenge of defending Luka. We've seen him go up against Steph. He is taking on some of the best players in the NBA and wanting that matchup. He talked about it the other day. He said he used to have to go to the coaches and say, I want that matchup. Like, trust me that I can defend this player. Now they're just saying, hey, Jaylen, go defend those guys. And why is it? Because Jaylen is long and he's athletic and he's not always going to be perfect. None of the Celtics are. But more often than not, when he is engaged and focused on the task at hand, he can be a lockdown defender who, if nothing else, is going to make the opponent work for whatever points they are able to get. I love that version of Jaylen. He talked coming into the season about wanting everyone in the starting 5 to get all defense votes, and Jaylen has put himself in that conversation with the defense he has played this season.
Jaylen Brown has been locked in on the defensive end for the Celtics this season. All right, what's coming up next?
All right, third number, 10.9. This is Jaylen Brown's turnover percentage. It's his lowest since the 2018-19 season. I love this. Our guy Dick Life had this stat in his package yesterday. 6 games with 25-plus points and 0 turnovers.
Ooh.
That's the second most in the NBA, behind only Tyrese Maxey, who had 7. So we think of Maxey and we say, oh, guy just doesn't turn the ball over, but is super efficient and gets everyone else involved. Jaylen has been not only scoring, but getting everybody else involved. The assist numbers are up, especially since the All-Star break. I love the way he is kind of honed in on protecting the basketball, but also getting others involved. Even though his usage rate has come back to earth, and that's partly because he doesn't take as many shots, he's finding ways to impact the offense. He knows how to give it up and get it back. His assist percentage is in the 85th percentile among all wings per cleaning the glass data. His assist percentage of 17.4 is 4.3% above his career average. I love this version of JB, the guy who is a willing passer and who wants to make everyone else around him better.
I heard all those numbers, and the only one that really stuck with me is the fact that he has low turnovers. That's all I care about Forsberg, is that he's not turning the ball over. All right, last but not least, what do you got?
All right, we're going big on this one. 387. That's the number of transition points that JB has generated this year. It's third in the NBA, behind only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Giannis Antetokounmpo. A couple of MVP candidates on their own. I think we know the best version of Jaylen Brown is the guy who wants to get out. Like, the Celtics get a defensive stop, and he is running the floor looking to get easy offense. Now, sometimes, like the other night in Cleveland, that results in missing some layups and some blown opportunities, but more often than not, he's making good things happen. And even if he's just putting stress on a defense, kicking it out to the corner where Drew Holiday, Derek White are making plays, just the ability for Jaylen to get in transition is creating good opportunities for the Celtics, and I need more of this moving forward. I just feel like the best version of the Celtics isn't the one that walks the ball up the court. I'm sorry, sore subject right now, but is quick to get into their offense and is trying to get in transition and make things happen, and Jaylen can be the guy who just fuels that at every turn. It can't be just the first quarter, it can be every quarter. I love that he's third in the NBA in that number.
Jaylen Brown on fire, not just last week, but really this entire season.